A federal judge hilariously chewed out Alina Habba and her federal prosecutors over the botched and embarrassing decision to try to charge Newark Mayor Ras Baraka with trespassing during a demonstration in front of an ICE facility. They also immediately retracted those charges, which again added the embarrassment there. According to the New Jersey Globe, U.S. Magistrate Judge André Espinosa went off on a 5-minute tongue-lashing. Gotta love that classic term there. Aimed at Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Domanovich's office. Here's part of what Espinosa said. Quote, an arrest of a public figure is not a preliminary investigative tool. It is a severe action. It should only be undertaken after a thorough, dispassionate investigation of credible evidence. Federal prosecutors serve a single paramount client, justice itself. Your role is not to secure convictions at all costs, nor to satisfy public clamor. I know, right-wingers all around are like, oh, nor advance political agendas. And then, of course, you have Trump saying, oh. Your allegiance is to the impartial application of the law, to the pursuit of truth, and to the upholding of due process for all. The apparent rush in this case, culminating today in the embarrassing retraction of charges, suggests a failure to adequately investigate. Your office must operate with a higher standard than that. Yes. But here's the thing. If they had higher standards, then they wouldn't be led by Alina Habba, would they? She is only in this position because of the fact that she is Donald Trump's former personal attorney. I don't know, man. It kind of sounds like a DEI hire to me. Just saying. Now, Habba was present for this hearing, by the way. And again, that arrest was directed by Habba. And so she was there. She was listening in on the meeting. However, she declined to speak. Really? Well, maybe she thought the case might go better if she kept her mouth shut. But it didn't. Nope. And look, honestly, the facts here point at this being a political arrest, an attempted political prosecution. We all know this, okay? Baraka's May 9th arrest occurred amid protests against a reopening of Delaney Hall. Now, Baraka says that facility is operating illegally and should be shut down. Nobody should be there, okay? But look, here's the thing. The reason that they open it is so they can have a place to toss immigrants in there without giving them due process. Okay, that's another thing the courts keep going after this administration on. Now, the case with the Delaney Hall is that the Geo Group, yes, is a private prison corporation. They opened it up without any of the necessary paperwork and approvals. So that's it. That is illegal. All right. No, you're not supposed to open up these private prisons for immigrants. All right. Without at least, again, due process, which is very, very important. And the proper approvals. So these Democrats went out there and were like, you don't have the proper approvals for this. And ICE responds by arresting them. Insane. Insane. Now, of course, when it actually comes to the court's like, yeah, this was stupid. You got to let him go. Okay. And so the charges dropped against Baraka. Now, he had a great response to this, by the way. And it was captured on Hot Mic. I wish I had the audio for it, but here's what he said. Jesus, he tore these people a new asshole. Good grief. I love it. All right. Now, that said, there's kind of a bad part to this story, and it's, look, the fact that, yes, it's good that the charges against Baraka had been dropped. Great. There's no reason he should have been charged. However, the ones against Representative LaMonica McIver are still ongoing. So we're just waiting for that. She has been charged with assault against 2 ICE agents. do we really know if they were ICE agents or not? I mean, a lot of people claim to be on ICE, wearing masks. So do we know if they're ICE or federal agents or Proud Boys in disguise? We just don't know. Maybe you ought to look into that too. But anyway, McIver calls these charges purely political. In a statement, she said that the visit to the detention center should have been peaceful and short. Instead, she says ICE agents created an unnecessary and unsafe confrontation when they chose to arrest Mayor Baraka. The charges mischaracterize and distort my actions and are meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight. Yeah. And there it is. That is part of the overall goal, though. Okay. Try to scare members of Congress into allowing Trump and his criminal administration to keep breaking the law, to keep stealing people off the street and disappearing them after shoving them into for-profit prisons and shipping them off to either El Salvador or now South Sudan. So, I mean, that is a huge problem. The courts have already ruled that you can't send them off to CCOT, and they're still doing it. And so the illegality involved in this, regime, basically, that they're involved in is pretty serious. And I hope it will eventually lead to people in this administration being brought before the court as defendants instead of people like, Alina Habba just getting to sit there in these court, hearings as the judge just verbally tears them apart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.